Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Mayakashi Yugioh deck profile for March 2019. Wanted to do an update to the Mayakashi deck for quite some time now, and finally with the release of the Savage Strike Special Edition, we were given the new Ice Mayakashi for the main deck. Really does help for a bunch of different plays. This card is coming out in the Dark Neostorm booster pack, but we were given early access to it through the Special Edition, so I thought an update to the deck was due for sure. It's a really fun deck. The whole point of the deck is just to special summon out a bunch of different synchro monsters for the Mayakashis from your extra deck by using the synchro monsters to just keep on special summoning them out, and then set up your graveyard with a bunch of different ones, and then just special summon them back to the field during your opponent's turn to mess up a bunch of different plays they may be trying to do, depending on what type of Mayakashi monster you go for. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So to start off, for the monsters, I run 3 Hajun, the winged Mayakashi. One of your main ones you want to go into, just for the fact when it's normal or special summon, you can special summon one Mayakashi monster from your deck, except for Hajun, the winged Mayakashi. You can only use this effect of Hajun once per turn, and you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except for Mayakashi monsters. So, depending on what type of summon you want to go for, most of the time I end up going for the level 3 synchro monster, because that sets up all your plays, because then you can special summon out your Daki with Hajun's effect to the field, and that is your level 3 synchro summon, and then use their effects to go on and use those synchro monsters for bigger synchro plays. I also run 3 Shifu, the wheeled Mayakashi. When it is normal or special summon, you can target one Mayakashi monster in your graveyard except for Shifu and special summon it in defense, but negates effects. And you can only use this effect of Shifu once per turn, and also the same special summon restriction was Hajun, with you only being able to summon Mayakashi monsters. So late game, this one definitely does help when your graveyard's all set up with your Mayakashi monsters. Just being able to summon them back and help to go for the bigger synchro plays for sure. So I definitely like this as another option. I like that they're also able to summon out whether they're normal or special summon, so you have different options depending on what spells or effects you use to summon them out to the field. I also run 2 Daki, the Graceful Mayakashi. You can only control 1 Daki, the Graceful Mayakashi. When a Mayakashi monster is special summoned to your field from the extra deck while this card is in the graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card, but you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn you activate this effect, except Mayakashi monsters. So if you get out your level 3 with your Hajun play, and then have her in the graveyard for the special summon, you're able to get out your level 5 synchro, and then just go up from there, depending on what synchros you want to go for. But very, very helpful. You don't really need 2 though. You can set her up in the graveyard very easily with a bunch of different other cards you run, and just able to get her out to the field with Hajun's own special summon. And the fact that you can only control 1 is the reason why I decided just to run 2 of her. I also run 3 of the new Yukimusume, the Ice Mayakashi. I run 3 just due to the fact that it can work from the hand or a graveyard. I would definitely only run 1 if it was just a graveyard effect, but if you control a Mayakashi card other than Yukimusume, the Ice Mayakashi, while this card is in your hand or a graveyard, you can special summon this card, then send one zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only use this effect of Yukimusume, the Ice Mayakashi, once per turn, and you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Mayakashi monsters. So being able to set up Daki in your graveyard as well with Yukimusume is very, very helpful, and the special summon from the hand just gives you more and more resources to get out your link monster for the Mayakashis and then go for your synchro plays. And I also run 1 Tsukihagi, the Poisonous Mayakashi. You can only control 1 Tsukihagi, the Poisonous Mayakashi, if a Mayakashi monster in your possession except for this card is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect. While this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, and you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn to activate this effect except for Mayakashi monsters. So just a good defense monster to go off of against your opponent depending on what they summoned out. So being able to rely on this card for those defensive plays is definitely helpful, and then you can just easily send it to the graveyard with cards like Yukimusume once again. So it's the only reason I just run 1 of this for that reason. It doesn't really help to extend any of your synchro plays, but definitely helpful for sure for its special summon. I also run for the generic zombie support to assist with the deck 3 Shiranui Solitaire. You contribute 1 zombie type monster to special summon 1 zombie type tuner with 0 defense from your deck. If this card is banished, you could target 1 of your banished Shiranui monsters except for Solitaire, or up to 2 Shiranui style synthesis on the field, special summon them. You can only use the effect of Solitaire once per turn, but Solitaire's effect definitely does help with a bunch of the other monsters in the deck, including Unizombie, just for an easy special summon. When you want to go for some of your generic plays, it is a definite helpful card for sure. And same goes for Mizuki, which I also run 3 of. Just the banish from the graveyard to target a zombie monster in your graveyard to special summon that target. Plenty of Mayakashi Synchro monsters that you can take full effect with this card for their special summons and then get their effects. So a definite 3 of for that graveyard play for sure. And I also run 1 Gozuki. This just graveyard play set up during the main phase while it's on the field, so very easy to use this card, and then the banish to special summon 1 zombie monster from your hand. Just extends your plays more and more with all your Mayakashi monsters. And then lastly, for the monsters, I run 3 Unizombie, just another tuner option to go for. We have Yuka Musume and we have Daki in the deck, but I just like this extra option available to us if we need for tuner adjustment, level adjustment, you name it. Excuse me. But Unizombie definitely does come in handy for those level adjustments and the fact that you can get it off of Shiranui Solitaire just for easier search. And that is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. I run 3 Mayakashi Return. You take 1 Mayakashi card from your deck except for Mayakashi Return and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. You can only activate 1 Mayakashi Return per turn, but this card, whether it be a search or graveyard setup, a definite 3 of in the deck, being able to grab whichever one of the Mayakashi monsters you need for your play that turn. It is a definite starter for anything you want to do in the deck, so a definite 3 of for sure. And I also run 2 Book of Life, just more special summoning, which is a big part of the Mayakashi deck. So Book of Life being able to also banish one of your opponent's monsters in their graveyard, taking away their resources, but get back your zombies as well to use. Just gives you another Reborn in the deck for sure for a lot of plays. And I also run 1 Burial from the different dimension, being able to get back a lot of your banished cards, reuse the Mizukis, very, very helpful for sure. And for more Reborn power, Monster Reborn, Soul Charge definitely did help a lot in this deck, but the fact that it is, you know, on the ban list, having Book of Life and Monster Reborn as options is definitely helpful for sure. I also run 1 for 1. The fact that Hajun is a special summon, just getting out of the field faster if you don't have Mayakashi Return, and that Yuka Musume also is a graveyard effect. If you want to use her on the field, then have her in the graveyard to resolve as well for the synchro play. If you go for the link play, you have all your options available to you with 1 for 1 as well. And then more graveyard setup just with Foolish Burial. If I have a synchro in the graveyard that I want to revive, I can just get Mizuki in the graveyard, banish it, then special summon it back onto the field. And then also 3, Call by the Grave. Ash Blossom definitely does do its job when stopping me when I'm trying to play the deck and my opponent doesn't want me to send cards from the graveyard. So Call by the Grave back at 3 just, stops my opponent's hand trap plays, which I definitely need this card in the deck for. Don't run any hand traps in this just because I want as many zombie cards as I can to use to make my plays successful for the Mayakashi Synchro Summons. And then for the traps, I run 1 Mayakashi Metamorphosis. You discard 1 card, then target one of your Mayakashi monsters that is banished or in the graveyard. Special summon it. Your opponent cannot target it with card effects this turn, and you cannot special summon monsters from the extract the turn you activate this effect, except for Mayakashi monsters, and you can only activate 1 Metamorphosis per turn. So just another easy special summon option with all the other different ones we're running in the deck. So I like to run just the one of this for that option. I also run 3 Shiranui style Swallow Slash. The destruction with this card definitely helps to take care of a lot of my opponent's problem cards. You distribute a zombie monster, then target 2 cards on the field, destroy them, and then banish 1 Shiranui monster from your deck. So it also works with Solitaire, being that banish option. Then you can use, return the Foolish Burial, return Burial from a different dimension to put it back in the graveyard to reuse for other special summons. And lastly, just for more special summoning, especially on your opponent's turn, I run 2 back to the front. This special summon, depending on the Mayakashi monster you summon back as well, can really, put your opponent in for a loop. Like I said, depending on which one you special summon back to the field and what effect you get off. But that is it for the main deck. Now moving on to the extra, we run plenty of the Mayakashi Synchros. I run 2 of the Oboro Guruma, the Wheeled Mayakashi. Mayakashi, you can only use each effect of Oboroguchi, the wheeled Mayakashi, once per turn. If a synchro monster is in your possession whose original level is 5 is destroyed by battle by an opponent's card effect while this card is in the graveyard, you can banish one other zombie monster from your graveyard, and if you do, special summon this card. And if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can activate this effect this turn. Your monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. So it's your starter synchro to go into, and then you go into your bigger Mayakashi ones, like the Poisonous Mayakashi. Same special summon by banishing if a synchro whose level is 7 or higher is destroyed by battle or a opponent's card effect, so you have that option. And if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can have each player send the top 3 cards from their deck to the graveyard. So you have the mill option available to you, and just also the Mayakashi share the destruction special summon, so very, very powerful just to keep going into your different synchro plays. I also run 2 Tengu, the winged Mayakashi. This one is for the level 9 or higher to special summon this card back, and when it is special summoned from the graveyard, you can destroy one spell or trap in your opponent controls. So destruction capabilities with this card as well. And I also run 2 Yoko, the graceful Mayakashi, just having the option for the level 11, which we run 1 of as well, which we'll get to in just a bit. And if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls. So like Tengu, it has destruction options available to you. I run 2 of each just so you have all these options, and you are kind of restricted with some of your other plays in your extra deck with your Mayakashi cards. So I keep the Mayakashi count, the biggest one, in the extra deck to use. And lastly, for the Mayakashi synchros, I run 1 Gashidokaru, the skeletal Mayakashi. If a link monster you control in your possession is destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect while this card is in the graveyard, you can banish one other zombie monster from your graveyard to special summon this card. So this one doesn't work with the level monsters, it works with the link monsters. And if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can activate this effect this turn. This face-up card is unaffected by other cards. So 3,300 attack point monster, big boss monster as well. Just being able to be unaffected by other cards means you can hit big against your opponent. And all you have to do is have your link monster destroyed, which we run 2 of the Ice Mayakashi as well. You can only control 1 Yukioh, the Ice Mayakashi, and while this card points to a synchro monster, your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks. And if a synchro monster in your possession is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect while this card is on the field, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field. Its attack and defense become half its current attack and defense until the end of this turn. You can only use this effect of Yukioh, the Ice Mayakashi, once per turn. But the protection with the synchros is definitely helpful, but that halving, depending on what boss monster you go up against as well, can help to get over a lot of your opponent's cards for sure. And then just for a little more generic support, 1 Vampire Sucker, you need Mayakashi monsters to make Yukioh, but Vampire Sucker just requires generic zombie monsters. And then just for a few other link options, I run 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, and the 1 Borlo. You don't make them as often as the Mayakashis, but with some of the generic zombies we run in the deck, I just like to have these options available to us as well. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.